Hey guys, welcome back to Lose the Legend episode 5 this time. We've got some great progression on keys this week. We messed around a little bit. So we started off on Cinder Brew, only on a 6. I was just going to push up from 4s to 6s. But decided let's push a little harder after this. So here we go. Into that execute range, as we all love and know. Absolutely smashing them down. Learned so much from this dungeon now. Pretty much got it mastered. Down, no problems whatsoever. On the Busby now. And again, absolutely eventless. It was typical towards the end. We had a good few bees up, but I've just noticed that when it gets to that stage of the fight, people just letting those bees go, and it could be the difference between a wipe and a kill. There we go, Busby going down. On to IPA now. And again, doing this 6, with the experience I've gained over the last few weeks, it was no problem at all. My tanking on Mythic Pluses, I think, has come a long way. We cleared the room beforehand just to make sure we had plenty of room, because the DPS was a little low. There wasn't much of a problem. There we go, IPA down. And on to the BEO. And again, it was just the same. It was just nice, smooth kill. Little slow. But, you know, you can see coming into the execute range, we've still got 12 minutes on the clock. 10%, 9%, 7%. 5%. Going down, 1 death through the entire dungeon. There we go, finished off Cinder Brew. On a nice strong 244 rating in 20 minutes 40 seconds. Now onto the Tussle Tonks with that crackly audio, as I always seem to get somewhere along these lines. But just the pummeler left to go pretty much. No mercy for you, almost dead. There was a little bit too much health left on the pummeler for my liking. It did start to hit hard. And just at the end, I thought we had plenty of DPS. But he pops up his shields again. On like 1%. It's like, oh no. But we did have the DPS to be able to finish him off. With just 1 death. Which I think he walked into bombs as far as I'm aware. There we go, those shields up, but no problem, straight down. On to Cujo. Crash was absolutely no problem. We were absolutely spanking this dungeon. As you can see as well, we decided to step it up again onto an 8. So we went from a 6 to an 8. Yes, there was a big difference, but I noticed that people with mechanics were a lot more on point in the higher keys compared to like doing 2s and 4s and stuff. I was a little bit late dragging him to the box there, but wasn't an issue. No deaths, straight down. At this point we had 3 deaths on. Into that garden. I think we lost someone in here as well. Yeah, there we go. I'm pretty sure, like, because he was an absolute pumper. Pulled the aggro off me and was a bit too slow to taunt. But apart from... No, we CR'd him. And then the Warlock went down. I think he went down to Blades, if I remember correctly. It was either Blades or Beam, one of those two. There we go, Sparks down. Moving up to King Mechagon. 7 minutes left on the clock on a +8. I was really, really pleased with this. And there we go. Couple of deaths there, which really, really did affect the DPS. Especially on King Mechagon himself. Those deaths were just due to people getting hit by the orbs, I believe, and I'm pretty sure someone got knocked off the edge as well by the orbs coming in. But there he goes, King Mechagon slowly going down with the time ticking away. Grab the Evoker up, not that it mattered too much, but... Here we are. Finishing off Mechagon, 277 score on an 8 in 30 minutes 43 seconds. And here we go on to Priority Sacred Flame now. Absolutely still shocked about how hard Dalagrai hits. So with the good rotation of cooldowns, it wasn't too much of a problem. No deaths by this point. Interrupts going off, absolutely lovely by everyone. Dalagrai down. 20 minutes left on the clock. Onto Brawn Pike. I did have a chat with the healer after this, and with us having to collect the orbs, DPS not doing it, it did make it a bit of a problem with the healing apparently. Cheeky little health potion there just to help the healer out. Bit of a messy kill, but a kill nonetheless. Rezzed up through the trash onto the princess. It was a lot better than last week, but I did still get a little bit upset in phase 2. As you'll see in a minute. You know, it's normally just nice just for people to drag the puddles up the size. But they were just dragging it around the boss, and it's so irritating because it's such a hard boss to be able to move. And it just completely messes up the melee. There we go, finished off, 271 score on a 7, 22 minutes, 37 seconds. Here we go with a coin-operated crowd pummeler in the Motherlode on a 7. It was a really flawless group, if I remember correctly. Everything was going down nice, all the mechanics being done. Into the execute range now. Decided to join in on the bombs myself. But yeah, just a nice smooth fight overall. There we are. Into Azeroth. And I made a bit of a boo-boo and I left him in the puddle, which, needless to say, caused a wipe after the mage got hit by the frontal. I was kind of like a bit put off and just left him in there. Damage went absolutely insane. And down the group went. There we go. My bad, but pulled again. Mage wasn't alive. Didn't release and run. I got too close, pulled. So, needless to say, that very quickly ended up in a wipe. And finally onto the kill. But we all make mistakes. I can't be perfect all the time. Into the execute range now. 14 deaths by this point. I was quite disappointed in myself. I absolutely screwed up twice. But down, no problems at that point. We all focused up. Went on to Risen next. And it was really nice and smooth. Everyone knew what they were doing, the propellant. Finished off, nice clear platform. And there we go. Rixa Flame Flux down, or Flux Fume. Onto Razdunk now. This didn't go so well either, if I remember correctly. Maybe it did. Yeah, no, it was absolutely fine. Finishing them off there. And there we go. That's Motherlode finished on 263 score on a 7, 30 minutes 29. Theatre of Pain. What a run. It was just absolutely flawless all the way through. Doing it on a 7. Jumping up from those 4s we done last week. Have to say, it was either the second or the first best group of the week. It was pointless taking it through the entire fight because everything was just perfected. Down now onto Zavan again, just straight into execute range. Still no deaths by this point. Everyone doing what they were meant to do. Banners going down. Bottom going absolutely speedy run. And Zav down. Moving on to Gore Chop now, and again, I didn't even get caught by chains. Flawlessly through there. DPS dodging it all. And Gore Chop down. Now on to Counter Rock. Everyone baited all the clones out to perfection. Majority of the interrupts were done. Odd one went off here and there, but it wasn't a biggie. There we go. Last boss. Still only one death at this point, which I think was on trash. Everyone's positionings was just absolutely perfect. DPS was pumping. There we go. Theatre of Pain completed. On a 7 with a rating of 271 score in there now in 24 minutes and 4 seconds. Case of Dark Flame. It was a brilliant run again. I learned that dragging the boss round to the carts really helped with DPS out a lot. Kept the ads down as well because people were running around, keeping them across the tracks, getting them run over. The Blaziken now. Everyone just done it perfectly. There was just no issues. Pumping him down. 2% left, 1%, and there we go. Blaziken down. Candle King is one of those fights which always gets me worried. But this group had every single mechanic on point, as you can see. Flawless bit of work. There's me trying to line up to one of the statues, and there was just no need. Onto the darkness. Candles were moved. You see the Demon Hunter in a minute, just before the AoE comes in. He just jumps off. He knows that we need to go get a candle for that AoE coming in. And he just comes straight back with it. There you go, one candle coming in now. Here comes that AoE. And he's just gone with it. Got that AoE around him and he's just like, right, time to go get a candle. Brings it back. Even the healer moved the candle for me at this point. Here comes that big AoE now. And the Demon Hunter is gone again. He's like, yep, we need a candle, and there's your candle, guys. Finished off Darkness, finished off Dark Flame Cleft. Absolutely beautiful. +2 on a 7 key. In 19 minutes, 28 seconds with a rating of 274. On to Mama in Floodgate. I didn't make as many mistakes as I did last week. I did learn a little. But Mama into execute range now. I did make a bit of a boo-boo, got someone killed, but we CR'd him. Carried on the fight. Interrupts were going really nice throughout the whole group here. And there we go, Mama down, and I didn't run off this time. We killed the trash as a group. On to Quick Fuse and Bront now. Suppose I did have one little complaint about this. Everyone jumped on Quick Fuse, Bront was left alive. We did have one bomb go off as well at the end here. I managed to pick up 2 bombs with this little charge. Someone else got another bomb. There was just one little stray that went off. But the healer recovered it. Everyone lived. Oh, apart from that guy. The hunter did go down. I do apologise, I lied. Quickview's obviously dead. Bron's absolutely smacking me down. But that healer's just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm a healer. I'm going to heal you. The demolition duo down onto Swamp Face. Nothing interesting happened. The flawless victory. Everyone's movements were spot on. Nothing interesting to report. On that 3%, 2%, 1%, and there we go, Swamp Face dead. Now this I found really interesting because I got shown a little trick here. I was told to pull him back here. And for anyone not doing this, look at those bubbles coming on that corner, all grouped up together. Gives the rest of the platform to play with. So I thought I'd show that here because I found it really, really helpful. On the Gigazap, no problems. Pretty boring fight. On that 5%. %. And there we go. The only thing that let us down in here, we had 26 seconds left on the clock. The DPS was a bit low, but mechanically it went really, really well. It was just a bit of low DPS, but there we go. Floodgate finished off on a 7, 32 minutes, 35 seconds. It was beautiful. Rookery, boring. Didn't take long at all. On an 8 as well. DPS was doing really, really well. Remember rightly, the healer was getting a bit upset with people not dispelling themselves when they had the ability to. I was just word of glorying my affix off. And I learned something about the feathers. Apparently if you land on one of the platforms, you get a little buff on you to do some damage. Onto Goran. Eventless. Went down. No problems. Now onto the big man himself. I had a consecrate by the boss. And it wiped us. But we got back onto it. Still 4 minutes left on the clock. Grab the healer up with a nice CR. Popped us all up. Just allowed us to finish getting that shield down. Finished off that last couple of percent. Beautiful stuff. There we go. Rookery finished off on an 8. +1, 281 rating, done in 24 minutes 41 seconds. So that's all the dungeons for this week. We can see there how we've done on each score. Bringing us in with a total score for this week of 2,156, which earns us the great KSM. So this week we hit Keystone Master, which is the first of our milestones. The next milestone to hit is going to be Keystone Hero, which I'm hoping to hit next week. And a big shout out again to Steve Forward. If you don't follow him, search Steve Forward up on YouTube, search him up on Twitch, Facebook. He's on all the socials. And again, a big thanks to ZepezTTV for the sound effects used throughout my videos. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribes, guys. Drop a comment down, and we will see you again for next week's video.